You know, at the end of the year, I always look back and I look forward. I look back at some moments that were meaningful to me, emotionally speaking, but also linguistically speaking, because I love language. I love learning about language and languages. I think it's maybe a Dutch thing because the Netherlands is a very small country. That's where I was born, raised, and educated. And, in order to be something on the world stage, we have to reach outward and learn our languages so we can communicate with different people in different cultures. And when you watch Dutch television from a very young age, you will notice that we don't dub our foreign TV shows or movies. No, we subtitle them so that the Dutch kids get to learn the language by listening to the way it is spoken. And that's why generally speaking, the Dutch are pretty good at speaking foreign languages. At least, I think, 99% of the Dutch speak English, a little bit of English. Most of them speak German, and some of them will be able to speak French or Spanish. At least that's what we're known for. And, English was not my first foreign language that I learned. Even though I speak it every day right now, because I've been living in the United States for 25 years, German was the very first language I learned to speak because we went on vacation to Germany or Austria or Switzerland, and it was closer to the Netherlands than the United Kingdom was. And so English is my second language, if you know what I mean. So first Dutch, then German, and then English. And gradually that changed because I spent a year in London working for the BBC, so English obviously had to be okay. And then I finally moved to the United States at the end of 1999. It was around this time, in fact. I'll be celebrating my 25th year in the United States, believe it or not. So English has been on top of mind, but I don't claim to be a perfect English speaker because I'm still learning new words and phrases. So every year, I kind of make a mental list of words that I love, that I learned, new English words, and words that I don't like that much. So tomorrow I will tell you about some of the words that I learned this year that I absolutely love. But today I want to talk to you about two words that I don't like and I don't get it. I don't understand why people use these words because you won't find these words in the dictionary. People made them up, really. And I know that language is a fluid thing. It is a living thing, so that the words that people speak in daily life eventually might end up in a dictionary. But the words that I'm referring to are already in a dictionary, but in a different variety, in a different way. So let me tell you what these words are. My least favorite words of 2024 are especially, you heard that right, especially, and etc. Like I said, you won't find them in the dictionary. Etc. is not even a word, it's two words. It is really a way of saying et cetera. Two words, et. It comes from Latin. Et means at, right? It means and cetera means the rest. So et cetera means and the rest, etc., etc., etc. So when and why did it become etc.? Because that's what I hear all over social media. People don't say etc. anymore, etc. The same with the other word that I hear all the time, especially instead of especially. Especially, it seems even harder to pronounce than the real thing, especially just rolls of your tongue, and especially takes an extraordinary effort. I mean, it's so weird. I don't understand it. Because I always learned the language through what is written in the dictionary. I thought that was the accepted version. I mean, what if people would start saying, I'm interested instead of uninterested? Wouldn't you find that weird? I'm interested, or instead of uninteresting, or that's interesting instead of uninteresting. That doesn't sound right? So why is that unacceptable, and why is especially accepted? It seems to be accepted by more and more people. Maybe a newer generation, but I've heard it more and more, even by people from an older generation saying especially this, especially that. You wouldn't say some things are interesting. That was weird. Or let's say we would start saying New York instead of New York. Everybody would raise their eyebrows and say, gosh, Whoever came up with that must be an idiot. We accept that New York would be the wrong way to say New York, right? So why is especially accepted or etc.? Why is that an okay thing to say? I like using the words in their original form so we can use the etymology, the science of the history of words, where words come from, to find out what the roots of these words are. Like I said, etc. comes from Latin, et and cetera, and the rest. When you see etc., you don't know where the root is. You don't know where the word came from, because where a word came from can teach us a lot about what people thought who came up with the word and what the meaning of the word is. Like the word frustrating, for instance, comes from the Latin word frustra. Frustrating, it's frustra, and frustra means in vain. So when I think about the meaning of frustrating, it means that something is in vain. So through the exact and correct spelling of the word, I can find out more about the origins of that word and the meaning of that word. And when you bastardize that word, like etc., we lose that connection to the past of that word. Anyway, maybe I sound like a pretentious snob, but I just don't like it, and I don't know how I can stop it, because like I said, language is a fluid thing. It's a living thing, and if enough people start using it, then it becomes commonly accepted and eventually will end up in the dictionary, etc., etc., etc. Especially words like etc. I just don't like it. Doesn't sound right. Does it sound right to you? So those are two of my least favorite words. Add in the comments if you have any other words that you've heard for the first time in 2024 that are not your favorites. And let's talk about our favorite words tomorrow, okay? I'll see you then. Thanks for listening.